Hey guys, YouTuber Hunter here. All right, and like I said in my last video, I said that in my last video when I was giving my thoughts on Creed 3, how like I would be doing something else in honor of another upcoming movie that's coming out, and that movie is the new Scream 6 movie. So that movie is coming out this weekend. So yeah, and like like 10 years ago, I did a review of the first two Scream movies. Yeah, but I figured with this new Scream movie coming out, I figured what I would do is I would go back and I would review the other three Scream movies as well. Yeah, then I will also talk about the new movie when I do go see it. Yeah, so here like I would so I'm gonna be talking about like the other Scream movies. I was actually considering doing this last year when last year's Scream movie came out, but yeah, but last year like I just talked about how my dad had a COVID last year back when last year's Scream movie came out, so I wasn't able to really do that. But yeah, now with this Scream 6 now being released, now I get the chance to do it again. So yeah, so I'm going to be talking about the other Scream movies in honor of Scream 6 coming out this weekend. All right. So yeah, and starting off with a review for Scream 3. Oh yeah, and I should also like to say that like I said, I did review the first two Scream movies. So if you want to see my reviews of the first two Scream movies, I'll have links to those down in the description if you want to watch my reviews for the first two films. All right, but anyway, all right. So Scream 3. So this movie was released in 2000. Yeah, and of course, this was actually intended to really be the final installment. Yeah, it was originally intended to just be a trilogy. Yeah, yeah, but of course, like they would resurrect this franchise with two more films. But yeah, this was back when it was just intended to be a trilogy. Yeah, so Scream 3. Yeah, this was released in 2000, like I said. Yeah, and yeah. And the first two Scream movies were like really good. Like, I really do like the first two Scream movies a lot. Like, the first two films really are just classics. Yeah. And then when this film came out, how did it turn out? Well, um, yeah, this one was bad. Yeah, this one just, oh man, like what happened here? Like this was just like really bad to be honest. Like this is like really the worst one of the series. Like yeah, this is easily the worst Scream movie. Like this one is just like not good. Like just I really don't know what went wrong with this film, but yeah, it just really just was not good. Like just where do we even begin with this one? Like just yeah, I mean, just this film, just it was like totally useless to the story. Like this film just really just had like a storyline to it that really was just useless and pointless, and it really didn't add anything new to the series at all. Like just yeah, I mean the first two films really did have like really good stories. Like is yeah, but this one just the story in this film like it really is just like a useless and pointless story to it. Like it really doesn't like add anything to the series, and yeah, it really is just like just a useless story. It's not really interesting at all, and yeah, and just yeah, and for this film like Wes Craven did return as the director once again. Yeah, but in this film, like this was like written by somebody different. Like Kevin Williamson did not return to write this film. This film was written by Aaron Kruger. Yeah, and just yeah. I mean, this movie just it really wasn't very well directed. Like I don't know like how Wes Craven really could just like have such a bad direction here. Yeah, and just yeah, and the writing for this film really is not good. Like Kevin Williamson really did like write great scripts for like the first two films. Yeah, but here, like, just yeah, I mean, with Kevin Williamson not returning, like, with the writing done by someone else, like, just it really wasn't good. Like, the writing really wasn't good, and this film really did have a weak script. Plus, yeah, the film's cast really is not very good either. Like, the acting really is not very good. I mean, like, David Arquette, Nev Campbell, and Courtney Cox do all return for this film. Yeah, and yeah, but their performances are good. But everybody else just yeah, I mean, they're not really good at all. I mean, just yeah, this film like has cast members like Patrick Dempsey, Scott Foley, Jenny McCarthy, Emily Mortimer, Parker Posse, and some other ones. Yeah, but just yeah, their performances really are not good. Just yeah, it really is just like nobody's performances from this film really do stand out. Yeah, and also like the murders in this film, they really are just like not memorable at all. I mean, yeah, this film like I think this film like has a total of like 10 murders total in the film. And just yeah, none of them really are like really memorable except for maybe like the opening murder, but yeah, just yeah, everyone else just it really is like the murders are not memorable at all. So yeah, so just that's yeah. So just what went wrong with this film? I really don't know. I mean, I really don't know really who's to blame for like why this film really didn't turn out so good. I don't know if it's Wes Craven's fault, if it's the writer's fault, if it's the studio's fault. Like, I really don't know like who's to blame for this film not turning out very good. But yeah, regardless, yeah, this film is just pretty bad. Yeah, and I really can understand like why people really do like say that probably like after the second film, it really is where like the film series probably just should have stopped because yeah, basically like after the second film like that pretty much like just concluded like the original story and I pretty much like got everything answered that everybody had questions about. And yeah, and that pretty much is like where it all ended. Here it's like they tried to do like something else and it just really didn't turn out good. Like it really seemed like they were really trying to like tie in a backstory to the previous two films, but it just really was like unnecessary to do. And yeah, and just yeah, it just really was not really good at all. And yeah, and I know there are like people that really do say this film is really unnecessary. This really was unnecessary to make. And quite honestly, I can't argue because yeah, I mean just yeah, like I've been saying, this film has a useless story. It's not written very well. It's not directed very well, and the acting really is not really good. Aside from the main three with David Arquette, Nev Campbell, and Courtney Cox. But yeah, everyone else just they're totally forgettable and they're not very good. And yeah, and like I said, the murders are not memorable whatsoever. And plus, like like and you it really is kind of like hard to really like keep track of like the order of like who got murdered in this film like in the first and second movie like it's easy to really remember like who got murdered like the murders really are like really memorable and plus yeah like you can even like remember them in the order that they got killed in both the first and second movie like all of the murders from both films you can really remember them chronologically but here it's not you can't really remember them at all. So yeah, so just yeah, this movie really just really did like it really failed at like what a lot of the things that the first two films succeeded at. So yeah, so I just really don't know what else I can really say about the film. Like just it really is just like not good and I do definitely say this is the worst one of the series. So yeah. So I guess I would give this film like I don't know. I guess I would give it a 1.5 stars out of 4. Like, just, yeah, it's a pretty bad film. And quite honestly, I think that this really is just worth skipping. There's not really anything about this film that I really would recommend. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I just don't know what else I can really say about the film. So I guess I'll just go through the premise of the movie. All right. So the film opens up. It shows how Cotton Weary is now like a real famous talk show host. Yeah, yeah. And then one night, like he gets a call from someone who seems to be just like a lady fan, but then it is eventually revealed to like be the uh, Ghostface killer once again, and he like the killer is like wanting to know the whereabouts of Sydney, but Cotton is refusing to tell the killer. Yeah. Then it's shown how the ghost face is in Cotton's home, and then is like going after Cotton's girlfriend Christine. Yeah. And as Cotton like raced home, it showed how like the killer was just toying with Christine first, and then eventually like then chased her around the apartment, but and then eventually Cotton then arrived home, and he tried to find Christine, but Christine thought that Cotton was behind the attack because like the killer like had like a voice changer to make his voice sound like Cotton's. Yeah, but then then eventually the killer then attacked Christine and killed her. Then then the killer went after Cotton, and then eventually ended up stabbing Cotton, but before he actually killed Cotton, he just told him that he should have told him where Sydney was, and now he loses. Yeah, and then then the killer then delivered a fatal stab to Cotton. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then it showed now that how in this film how Sydney is now living like kind of a secluded life. Yeah, she's she's like it really is like having like her home like really like he like locked up a lot. Like she has like locked gates and a locked door and a security alarm and all that stuff. Yeah, so she really is like really trying to really like give herself a lot of protection for any like in case like anyone else is trying to attack her. Yeah, and it's shown how like she's now like a a crisis counselor for an abused women's hotline. Yeah, yeah, and then then eventually then uh Detective Mark Kincaid then contacted Gail to whole and informed her about Cotton's death, and then was shown how like there was like a picture of Sydney's mother there. Yeah, and then and Yale really was like wanting to look into the murders of Cotton and what the picture of Sydney's mother could possibly mean. Yeah, and it shows how now there's like a third stab movie now in production. Yeah, and as Gale went to Hollywood, like it showed how Dewey was now an advisor on the movie set. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, then Gail really was just like speaking with Dewey about like what happened, and then Gail and Dewey then and worked together to try to figure out who could possibly be behind this and what these murders really do mean and what purpose the pictures of Sydney's mother may have. Yeah, yeah, and this film. This was actually like during the time where David Arquette and Courtney Cox were actually married in real life. Yeah, and in this movie, Courtney Cox is actually credited as Courtney Cox Arquette. Yeah, so it's really interesting to kind of like see this, like how, of course, like in the movies, like they of course like had a romantic bond. Yeah, and it was interesting that for this movie they were actually like married in real life. So really interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Then like it showed how then like on the movie set how the killer then like killed like a few cast members of the movie. Like there was like this one uh actress Sarah Darling, who was played by Jenny McCarthy, that like got attacked by the killer, and he eventually ended up killing her. Yeah. Yeah. Then later on, like as uh, Dewey and Gil then were gathering at the home uh, of another one of the cast members of the Jennifer Jolie. Yeah, yeah. Then it showed how the ghost face ended up like killing like her bodyguard, and then eventually then like another guy was ended up being killed after a gas leak caused an explosion. Yeah, yeah. Then eventually then the killer then like discovered Sydney's location, and then was then trying then was like taunting her over the phone, even like using the voice changer to sound like Sydney's mother, who of course was like killed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then after like Sydney realizing that she's been discovered, like she was basically like just forced to be to like come out of her hiding and came to Hollywood to meet with Dewey Gale and Detective Kincaid. Yeah. Yeah. Then like as like the killer then like was like leaving more pictures of Sydney's mother, like on the back of one it said that I killed her. So then that led the Detective Kincaid along with Gail and Dewey to believe that there may have possibly been a third person involved in the murder of Sydney's mother, along with Billy and Stu from the first film. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so then with Sydney meeting up with the three of them, then like they were like trying to figure out more behind this on what who could possibly be committing these murders. Yeah, 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 and it showed how like Stab Three's director, Roman Bridger, and was like being questioned about these murders since like he was supposed to be meeting with like some of the cast members that ended up being murdered. Like the police suspected that maybe he could have been involved in the murders, but he was like saying that he wasn't. Yeah, yeah. Then they were really like trying to like figure out like who else could possibly be involved in this. Yeah. Then eventually then like Sydney, Dewey, and Gail then got a visit from Randy's sister Martha. Yeah, yeah, and of course, like Randy was killed in the previous movie Scream 2. Yeah, yeah, and then like then Martha then just showed Sydney, Dewey, and Gail like a videotape that Randy had made before he was killed. Well, yeah, then like it showed that like this was like a posthumous this video like of Randy like saying like the rules of a horror film do not apply to anyone in the third film of a horror trilogy, and that anybody, including the main character, which he was referring to Sydney, could actually be killed. Yeah, yeah, then it showed then at one point how the killer then like attacked Sydney on the movie set. Yeah, yeah, but then when Sydney was able to like get away, hey, then the police then just decided that they had to keep Sydney at the station and to keep her safe. Yeah. Then yeah. Then later on, as Dewey, Gail, and Jennifer then were like gonna go see Sydney at the police station, Dewey then supposedly got a call from Sydney saying that she was gonna be going to Roman's birthday party at his mansion that on that night. Then and Dewey, Gale, and Jennifer then said that they would go to the mansion to meet with Cindy there, and it showed how then, like, uh, Roman, of course, was there, along with two other cast members for Stab 3, Angelina and Tyson. Yeah, and as they were all at the party, then at one point, Roman, Angela, and Tyson, and all like split up. Angelina and Tyson then like and kind of just like split up to like go around the mansion looking for your stuff. Yeah. Then at one point, as Roman went down to the basement or something, then and, when Dewey and Gale were like waiting for Sydney. Then, like, they then eventually then discovered the Ghostface costume along with the cell phone and the voice changer, which then they discovered that like it was the killer that was the one that called them as Sydney. Yeah. Then as they like split up to try to find the killer, then at one point then Gale like discovered a Roman like uh killed down in the basement. He's like, yeah. Then eventually then like Ghostface then appeared and attacked the group, and then at one point then the killer then like murdered Angela along with Tyson and Jennifer. Yeah. Then yeah, but then he then like held Dewey and Gale captive, and then the killer then like called Sydney and was ordering her to come to the mansion if she wanted Dewey and Gale to live, or else if she didn't come, they would be killed. Yeah. So then yeah, then Sydney then arrived at the mansion, and it showed how like she like brought a gun with her. But then yeah, the killer then like when Sydney arrived at the mansion, the killer then like forced Sydney to throw her gun into the swimming pool, which she did, seemingly unarming her. Then when Sydney came into the mansion and found Gale and Dewey, then the killer then appeared. But then Sydney then revealed that she had another gun on her, and then fought the killer off, shooting him several times. But then yeah, then when Sydney was like trying to help Dewey and Gale, when she turned back around, the killer was gone. Yeah. Then Detective Kincaid then arrived, but then the killer then ended up knocking Kincaid unconscious. Yeah. Then the killer then was just chasing Sydney like around the mansion, and then as Sydney then like discovered a secret screening room, then Ghostface then appeared again, and then showed that like the killer was wearing a bulletproof vest, which is the reason why he survived the gunshots. But yeah, then as the killer was just speaking with Sydney, then eventually he then like unmasked, and it was revealed that the killer was Roman. Yeah. And this is the only Scream movie where like it was just like one person behind the killings. Like, yeah, I mean Roman was working alone. Like he didn't have like a partner like there were in like all the other movies. So yeah, that is kind of like, to be honest, that is like really kind of hard to buy that only one person was behind all this in this movie. Like, especially seeing as how, like I said, there were like 10 murders in this movie, and just one person was behind that whole thing. Like, he did all this himself. So, that is like kind of hard to buy. So, I do think that that is probably like another problem with this movie, that it's just really not believable. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, getting back to this, then Roman then like revealed that he is actually Sydney's half brother. He was born through their mother. And yeah, and it was like explained in this movie how like Sydney's mother was actually like an actress in Hollywood at one point. Yeah. Yeah. And apparently like she had given birth to Roman during that time. Yeah. But then yeah, like then Roman like explained to Sydney that like 4 years prior, which was like around the events of the first film, like he tried reuniting with their mother, but she rejected him because like apparently Roman was like the product of rape. Yeah. And like Roman just like very bitter over like her rejecting him. He like started to stalk her and was like filming her with like all the men that she like had affairs with, and he actually did like a film her with Billy's dad, which is how Billy did like find out about like uh Sydney's mother, or like a sleeping with his father and being responsible for his mother abandoning him. Yeah, and he like did show that footage to Billy Hilly. Yeah, and that's how Billy found out about it. Yeah, yeah, and Billy was, well, not, and Roman also apparently like filmed the stuff that happened at Sydney's college in the second film. Well, not that, but he was also responsible for like setting off the string of murders at the college. Yeah, yeah. Then like apparently like Roman just like snapped when like he found out about like the fame that Sydney attracted due to the events. Yeah. And so then yeah, then this is like what led him to like doing all this, and he like had a plan to kill her and frame her for or the murders that he's committed. Yeah. Yeah, and then like Roman then like just felt that like the stab producer John Milton was his biological father, and was the rapist of their mother, and Roman ended up killing him. Yeah. Then after Sydney just like was denouncing Roman and his motives, then eventually Roman then just ended up snapping, and then Roman and Sydney got into a physical altercation. And yeah, and then eventually then like after like a knocking Detective Kincaid out again, Roman was able to get a hold of his gun, and then he ended up shooting Sydney in the chest. Yeah, seemingly killing Sydney. But then, yeah, then like when like Roman turned back around, it showed that Sydney was not on the ground anymore. Yeah, and yeah, then Sydney then like uh and attacked a Roman again and stabbed him. And then yeah, then Sydney then like revealed that she like had a bulletproof vest on too, and then just like stabbed Roman in the chest. Yeah. Then when Gale and Dewey then arrived, then like the other ones like Roman popped back up again, and then yeah, and then as Dewey then was just like firing on Roman in the chest, then you know, Sydney then just like yelled at Dewey to shoot Roman in the head, which yeah, Dewey eventually did do, and then that ended up killing Roman. Yeah. So yeah, so like I said, just like the whole story with like a Roman like being like a half brother to Sydney, and like the stuff with him like a filming the stuff with Sydney's mother, and him being involved in the stuff with showing like Billy finding out like that her mother slept with his father and all this stuff, and Roman being behind like all the murders and the other two films and this stuff, like him like like being the one that did actually set off the events and everything. Just yeah, it really wasn't needed, and yeah, I mean, and it really doesn't add anything new, to be honest. Yeah. So yeah, so it really is just like a very useless story. Yeah. But yeah. Then the film then just like cut to like sometime later back at Sydney's home, and it showed then Dewey then proposed to Gail, and she accepted from it. Yeah. Accepted it. Yeah. Yeah. Then yeah, then it then showed how Sydney like returned back to her home from walking her dog. Yeah. And then yeah, it showed how she left the gates open this time rather than like alarming them. Yeah. And yeah, then as a Dewey, Gale, and a Detective Kincaid, then I just invited her over to watch a movie with them. As she went to like join them, like showed her front door then was like blown open, but instead of like shutting it, that she just like left it as is and just walked off. And that's how the movie ended. So yeah, so I guess like this was like showing that like like now that like they're all gone and everything, and since this was originally like intended to be the last film, now Sydney was like over her fears and everything, so she wasn't worried about anybody coming after her anymore. So I guess that's the reason why they ended it like that. Yeah. But yeah, but like I said, just yeah, this movie, this just is not good. Like it's a useless story, bad writing, not very good direction. Acting is not good from anyone except the main three. Yeah, it's just like yeah, this film just really has a whole ton of problems, and yeah, I do think that this is easily the worst Scream movie. Like it just really is just not good, and it is just like a totally useless story. Like I said, like the whole stuff with like Sydney having like Roman as a half brother, and just his motives and everything, and just him being like a like his story like tying in with the events of the other films, just it really is not needed, and yeah, it just doesn't add anything new whatsoever. So yeah, so like I said, I give this film 1.5 stars out of 4. Just yeah, it really is just like a very forgettable old movie. Like I said, the murders are not memorable, and yeah, and there's really just like not really anything that memorable about the movie at all. So yeah, so like I said, I just really do not recommend this movie. Like it really has nothing to offer, basically. So yeah, so I really do think that like this is the most skippable Scream movie of the five right now. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So personally, I would just skip it. It really is not worth watching, especially when you compare it to the first two movies. This really just seemed like a really big step down compared to the first two films. So yeah. So I guess that's the best way I can put it. Alrighty. So yeah. So I guess that's all I really have to say about it. All right, so yeah, so this does it for my review of Scream 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about the movie, yeah. And stay tuned because yeah, I'm gonna be talking about the other two Scream movies as well. And like I said, when I go see Scream 6, I'll talk about that movie as well. So yeah, so stay tuned for videos on the other Scream movies coming up. All right, but I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.